One of the things that is I feel very, very strongly about is the use of language in yoga classes and in general. I was, for many years, director of a civil rights organization, and one of the things that I learned is that language can hurt. People are triggered by so many different things, and sometimes just a word will do it. A pose might do it. And I think it is very, very important that we as teachers, not only yoga teachers, but anyone actually who is working in a position like this where you're in contact with many different people, you have to make sure that your words are not hurting somebody. And there are many words that can trigger, there are many poses that can trigger. Let me give you an example of that. In a trauma informed yoga class, I would never, ever teach the pose Happy Baby, and many times I don't do Downward Dog because sometimes in those classes there might be somebody who survived an assault, and that particular pose could trigger them. So I'm very careful about what poses we're doing in those classes. And in my general classes, I watch my language. Another example is if it's a pose that requires clasping your hands or bringing your hands together, I would never say make a fist because that is going to trigger somebody who has experienced some kind of violence. When somebody is triggered in a class, what I do is, before the class, in a trauma class especially, I let people know that it is okay, it is perfectly fine if you need to leave the room, to leave the room. I have Kleenex all around the room, and I will come sit near that person, make eye contact, and bring them back to their body. Because one of the things that is happening with that trauma survivor in many cases is they're disassociating. And so we need to bring them back to the present, which is